time, folks. It's prediction time. Give us your score for Cleveland in Baltimore. Place that the Browns have not won since 2007. On Twitter, at AndyMC81, at MattFlorJancic. Make sure you get the free app on Google Play for Android devices. Just type in the Doghouse. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe on iTunes as well. Matt, injury front for the Browns here. And we've had K'Wan Williams, as good as he's played, still battling back from concussions. Joe Hayden, I believe, he's still uncertain. Is he going to be a game-time decision?
I think so, but I'd be more concerned about Tayshaun Gibson at this point.
Oh, okay, go on.
Not practicing, struggling to get around. I don't see Tayshaun playing. I think Jordan Poyer's going to get the start.
Really? So that secondary is continuing. And I like how Jordan Poyer has played, but he's not at the same level as a Tayshaun Gibson. So what other injuries should we be looking at, Matt?
Desmond Bryant's still limited with a shoulder injury. I mean, they've got quite a few guys that are injured, but, Brian Hartline's hurt too, and he hasn't been able to practice yet. He's got a thigh and, I believe, rib injuries, but they think the thigh is the more severe of the two. He's walking real gingerly around the locker room. I don't see Brian Hartline being as impactful as you would have hoped in this game, and Desmond Bryant on the defensive front, I think, is going to have some issues trying to get health. And now being limited is a step in the right direction because he didn't practice all last week before missing the game, but I still would rather have a healthy Desmond Bryant. And then Tayshaun in the secondary, I would imagine he won't play, and Craig Robertson, it would be very difficult to expect Craig to play. Even Coach Pettin said that on Wednesday, that he's probably already leaning towards being out for the game just because of the nature of his injury. They did get K'Wan Williams back off the concussion, which is good. If they can keep him from getting another one, it'd be even better. And Scott Solomon has taken some team reps this week, albeit limited. They think they might be able to get him back, which would help Paul Kruger a ton, and be able to slide Kruger back to his more natural pass rushing position. And then they also think Robert Turbin, the running back, could come back, which it's just convenient to me that Duke Johnson and Isaiah Crowell have their best games of the season when, surprise, surprise, a veteran running back is coming off of an injury.
Interesting. Yeah, they both step it up. You mentioned Paul Kruger, and we've seen how disappointing he's been this year. I don't fully pin it on him. On Monday's show, we spoke about, is it more on the scheme? Is it more on the player? And at the beginning of the week, too, Matt, we had Coach Pettin say there's no major changes. So are we still expecting Kruger to be dropping back in coverage? Because if they do not pressure Joe Flacco, get ready for another edition of Phil Rivers, of Derek Carr, picking you apart. You cannot keep Joe Flacco's back clean. He has got to be ruffled. He has got to be put under pressure. You cannot let that guy stand in there like a statue, man. Is there any hope with Kruger the way he is, with the injury still to Solomon, with Des Bryant still out, not being able to create that real push up the middle?
I hope there's hope for Paul Kruger to get to the quarterback, but they have to stop dropping him back in coverage.
Exactly. Well, they send him.
If they want to improve their sack numbers and actually bother a quarterback, sending your 255-pound linebacker, pass-rushing extraordinaire linebacker into coverage is a bad idea. I understand he's the most veteran guy, so you want to slide him over there, but the guy you're putting in his position, whether it be Nate Orchard or whether it be somebody else, flat aren't getting the job done. So you have to figure something out, and you have to figure something out quickly, because you can't just give up your pass rush by saying, Krug, we need you to slide over here, and we're going to slide this rookie in for you and hope he does a better job. You can't go into a battle with that plan.
No.
If your plan is to get to Joe Flacco, you need Paul Kruger pinning some ears back and going and squashing a tackle on his way to crushing the quarterback. This is a team that he played for, and they let him walk out the door. Believe me when I tell you, there will be no bigger motivation in his mind than getting after Joe Flacco and looking up to that booth and seeing Ozzie Newsome there and going, see, you should have let me stay.
Yeah.
This is your fault, because now I'm going to bother the hell out of you.
But will he have the opportunity? That's the real question with this Browns defense.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. But that they need him to have an opportunity to get after the quarterback if they hope to win, because Nate Orchard hasn't done it yet. And I know he's a rookie and it takes time, but damn it, you draft guys to have an impact. You better figure out a way to get them to have an impact right away, because other teams have found a way. Khalil Mack was an impact player. He didn't have all the sacks that you would have expected him to have during his rookie season, but he's getting to the quarterback now. And, oh, by the way, even though he didn't have the sacks, he still bothered an offense, because if you have to send a back to come and chip with a lineman against Mack, guess what? That leaves your blind side in a one-on-one coverage. So if you send two guys, you're going to get to the quarterback more than likely.
He was still disruptive.
Like, those guys have impactful plays. Nate Orchard is not an impactful player right now. He made one tackle, and that was about it. He does not require you to send a guy to chip because he's not flat getting off the line of scrimmage well. And Jim O'Neill said it yesterday. For us to play well as a defense and to bother Joe Flacco, the guys on the front seven, they have to be more aggressive at the point of attack. If they're passive like they were last week, they're going to get destroyed.
And that's what's disappointing with Des Bryant out, because the only game he's been in was that Tennessee Titans game, and he was very disruptive. He's been injured, it seems, more often than not as a member of the Cleveland Browns. When he's in, he's been great. And that, Jim O'Neill, you say that. That's great. I love hearing that. But guess what? You can't disrupt the quarterback if Paul Kruger's dropping back in coverage. You can't disrupt the quarterback if you're sending Kiko Mingo, who weighs 100 pounds, that can't get past the lineman, or dropping him back, and by the way, also can't defend the pass. Like he called out Danny Shelton to jump off the tape. Xavier Cooper, another draft pick. You drafted 2 nose tackles. You wasted, or I don't want to say waste, but you used 2 draft picks at nose tackle to make an impact, and the interior run defense has been better to a point, but as far as quarterback pressure, Matt, non-existent. Like, what was the mantra coming in? It was words into action. Well, we're just hearing words. We're still just hearing words.
Yeah, and I would imagine that Mike Pettin isn't very happy about that, because he warned everybody after the Raider loss, look, I'm tired of hearing that stuff. I don't want to hear talking. I want to see action. And Danny Shelton's not popping off the tape. That's fine. That's one guy. Okay, you're going to the fact that they keep singling out certain guys and defending others is really bothersome to me, because coaching staffs shouldn't show favorites, and this team has done nothing but that over the last 2 weeks. Dwayne Bowe isn't going anywhere for the foreseeable future. This coaching staff, for some reason, loves to defend Dwayne Bowe. Yet you've got a guy like Joe Hayden, who, by the way, last year, I know you can say he didn't play through the broken finger and you can question his toughness. Last year, he had a shoulder injury and the flu going into the last week of the season. When the Browns weren't playing for anything and Baltimore had everything to play for, he could have easily taken a powder and said, I'm done. I'm not playing in this game. There's no sense in me getting hurt. I got a Pro Bowl to get ready for, so I'm not going to play in it. He went out there and played with a banged-up shoulder and the flu and played pretty well.
Right.
So, but this coaching staff is for some reason content to toss him under the bus. And they're content to toss Danny Shelton under the bus. But Dwayne Bowe, for some reason, is still golden. And I have no idea why. I do not understand it one iota, because he doesn't look like he gives max effort. And they were even asked about that yesterday, the coaching staff was, about him not giving enough effort. And they said, no, the effort was there. It was just a good coverage by the defensive back.
Yes.
I am so
Why do you only get one
hearing
pass to him?
Apologies for Dwayne Bowe. Get him off the damn field, get Justin Gilbert off the damn field, and get people who want to play on the field. Danny Shelton loves the game of football and will work his you-know-what off to make sure that he has an impact on the game. Joe Hayden loves the game of football, okay? And if he says he can't go, I'm going to ride with that, because Joe plays more often than not through pain, okay? He's a guy that loves to be on the field, and when he was lost for that 4-game suspension a few years back, there was nobody more miserable on the planet than Joe Hayden.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear all this stuff about, well, Joe needs to play and this and that, and, start singling out guys who deserve to be singled out. Start throwing the veterans under the bus. I'm sick of them going after rookies and guys who they didn't bring in here. Forget it. Go after the guys that should be playing their hardest because they're getting paid a lot of money. You want to talk about stealing money? Nobody is stealing more money right now than Dwayne Bowe from this franchise.
Please.
He's done nothing. He's gone out there. He's mailed in his effort. It's very evident to us on camera that love this team and they care about this team, but the coaches defend him to the nth degree, and it's nauseating because you've got other guys who want to play, and he clearly has demonstrated a lack of interest in playing. Fine. You have a lack of interest in playing, I'm going to void your contract with just cause, and I'm not going to pay you.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? That would be phenomenal.
Hey, if Jimmy Haslam won't pay the guys who put up the letters for First Energy Stadium on the stadium, I think he can find a way to not pay Dwayne Bowe. I know how many layers of approval things have to go through in that building, so I'm sure somebody higher up had final sign-off before those signs were put up. So to me, that's all stupid to not be paying a guy because I know the levels of, approval that people have to go through. And to me, if you're finding a guy who's not running hard, who's not making an effort, who doesn't even want to be on the field, I'm going to find just cause to not pay him.
Send a message. And you're right. Joe Hayden and Danny Shelton, guys who work really hard, maybe struggling, are not the issue on this team.
Joe Hayden's had slow starts in each of the last 3 seasons.
2-minute warning, Matt.
By the end of the year, he's still playing at a damn Pro Bowl level. So forget the noise, okay? Like, Joe Hayden is going to be fine.
Yeah.
Is he having a slow start? Yes. Are people questioning his toughness? Yes. Am I among those people? Not really, because I really think that if Joe could have gone, he would have gone. He knows it's important to him. He cares. He wouldn't have signed a 5-year extension to be with a bad football team if it wasn't important. And yeah, you can say, well, he became the highest paid cornerback when he signed the contract. I understand that. And yes, money is important to Joe. Believe me, it'll give him more opportunities to have a very good life after football. But you don't sign a 5-year extension with a team that sucks and that hasn't had a sniff of a winning season in your career at that point, because it was before last year's 7-9 campaign. If you don't care about turning it into a winner, he legitimately cares about this city. You see how excited he gets when he goes to Cavs games and he's watching LeBron play at an NBA championship MVP level. He sits courtside with that team. He understands how starved this fan base is to win, and Joe Hayden is determined to have that same effect on his city. He's wanted to do it since he was a rookie. That's all he's talked about. And honestly, you can question him all you want, but question Dwayne Bowe.
Yeah,
Throw Dwayne Bowe under the damn bus. Back it up a couple times. Maybe you'll wake him up. But you gave him a fat contract, and you're not getting any production out of him. That's on you, pal. That is on you.
Yep. Matt, we got about a minute left. We heard the 2-minute warning whistle a minute ago, so we're going to have to get to our score predictions here. Browns versus Ravens. You're 2-2 on the year. I fell to 1-3. Score prediction, Browns in Baltimore.
28-10 Baltimore.
28-10 Baltimore. I'm going to say the Browns hang around, but ultimately fall short. 24-20 for Baltimore. The first time I picked against the Browns this year, I know. Real quick,
yes,
too.
I know.
I know. I had to do it. You got to prove it to me, Matt. You got to prove it to me. Okay, Bengals at Seahawks. Who takes it?
I kind of like both of those teams in that matchup, but I'm going to go with Seattle.
Seattle. I'll go Seattle too on the road. They're due. Bengals need to lose. Steelers in San Diego face the Chargers that the Browns had last week. Both
San Diego.
San Diego. I'm going San Diego too. Put it to the Steelers. All right, that was an impassioned version of the Doghouse as always. Joe Hayden. I hope he does play, and I hope he balls out and shuts everybody up. Because you're right, Matt. He is not the problem on this team. Guys who are loafing, like Dwayne Bowe, are the issue. Good stuff, buddy. We'll do it again Monday.
Sounds good, Andy. Hopefully it's a victory.
Hopefully it's a victory Monday. That is Matt Fleur-Jansen from WKYC Sports. I'm Andy McNamara. You've been listening to The Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. Enjoy the game, folks. Go Browns.